Let's get back to our chat. You've said that when women stay stuck in their heads, they lose access to their own power. What does that look like at home and in everyday life? And let me just add something to this. What I know I said, what does that actually look like? But I'm going to go one step backwards and go, what does that mean?
Okay. So when we live in our heads, it's about performance, perceptions, the coulds, the shoulds. What do I need to be?
Coulda,
So
woulda,
it's
shoulda.
and the roles that we either assume or we've been raised to believe are our roles. Being the good wife, the kind person, the good friend, the supportive this, all those roles. That we're taught out from a young age. Like, what does a good girl look like? What does she sound like? What does she do? What doesn't she do?
Profiling.
The profiling, yes. So when we're in our heads, it's about creating that persona, not that it's fake, but we're not trusting our beings and who we truly are.
Gotcha.
So it's, if I'm naturally a certain way and that's how I be, that's how I show up, versus now, let's say you disrespect me, but I've all these years been taught, don't make a scene, don't make things uncomfortable, don't make Paul uncomfortable. I am going to compromise myself. It's that's not what we do, but that's not our identity. So of course I'm speaking for me as well, but I know that so many others, so many clients that I've worked with and people in audiences, women in audiences. So that's where it goes into when we go into our heads, because I don't appreciate the way maybe you spoke to me or what you've said, but my knowing or my head tells me that I don't want to be the one causing a scene and making you uncomfortable, so I won't. So that's where we aren't trusting our being and who we truly are, and we're living from a place of conditioning. And so many times we don't even realize that there is another way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it was never an option for me to have a stronger independent thinking perhaps and not challenge things, because I was raised to be polite and nice and sweet and kind. So I didn't realize that I had the option when someone was like, well, go speak to so-and-so. And I'm like, no, I didn't realize that there was an option to just say no.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was the overperforming in terms of I will burn myself to the ground to make sure that everyone else is okay. I was exhausted all the time because if anyone needed something, I was going to say yes, because that's what a good friend does. That's 100%. What a good coach does. There aren't boundaries, there aren't parameters, because my definition of what I'm here to do in the world is to help you, to make the world a better place. But in that same breath, it's compromising myself and my self-worth and my being and my joy.
That's it.
So that's what I mean with when we're more in our heads, because we have disconnected from our true essence, or not even disconnected. We just don't even know that that's a possibility. So
I feel like there's a third option, and it might not be. And I learned this very late on when I started with my coach.
Yeah.
And I learned this very late on, and I didn't realize that there was a difference. It was reaction versus response.
For sure. And reaction is
that's the immediate.
It's
the instant gratification that we're like, you've hurt me. I want to hurt you back.
And for women, it's oftentimes the other way around, where it's suck it up. We were joking about that in one of our other episodes for men, so it looks different. We're kind of doing the same thing. The mechanism's there, but we're just interpreting it differently. So for us, it's just let it go, let it slide. We can handle it. We know that they didn't mean that. They're probably just going on. But it's the tolerating. How much do we tolerate in our lives? Where our response or our reaction is to, if we look at fight, flight, or freeze. For women, it's the flight, or the freeze, or the fawn now. And fawn is about adaptability.
Yes.
How can I adapt and conform to what you need? So our reaction isn't the same. So for us, it's the unpatterning of that natural bent. And it's uncomfortable. So something I had to teach myself over many years was, before I say yes, which was my instant response, yes, and I'll figure out my life afterwards. I'll try, see how I can make this work for you. But my answer was always going to be yes. Then I had to start teaching myself, which was so uncomfortable. And it felt like it was going against everything that I was, because my identity was so
to be the yes
ingrained
girl.
in that. To be the yes, and of course I'm going to help. I'm the
Yeah.
one that helps. I'm the one that fixes things, that does things.
Yeah.
So it took many, many years of practice, and I still catch myself once in a while, but was to say, thank you for including me. Thank you for thinking me, whatever that framing was. Can I get back to you? I need to just check something.
Yeah.
Without over justification or
Yeah.
over explaining, because I used to go into the justification and talk
And
my way out of it.
Got you.
Where then it was just because that would give me time to step away from the
Yes.
emotional reaction to it
100%.
and then look at, well, is my body contracting and she really wants to say no to this, but I'm saying yes out of obligation or whatever that justification
whatever that
is.
looks like,
but everything in me is contracting. I already feel nauseous and ill at just the thought of saying yes to this. So that's where, again, it was trusting my body. It's saying, well, my mind, of course, is going to say yes, but what does my body need? Because my mind has said yes so many times, my body has suffered with burnout and with discomfort and not nourishing myself.
I'll deal with it later.
Exactly. So it's bringing my body like, okay, body, what is going on for you? And then trusting my body. I speak to her as if she's a human or a being, which she is.
Hello.
So I'm like, body, what do you think? And if she says no,
then it's no.
Then it's a no. And that's where I get out of my mind.
How does somebody know they've disconnected from themselves? Are there warning signs that you've learned to recognize?
For me, it was this constant sense of knowing that there was something else, that I was destined for more. I share that in my book as well, that very first chapter, or the intro. Having this unsettling feeling of, I should be grateful for my life, and I am grateful for my life. I can't complain. I've got good family, I've got good friends, I've got great work, but there was something missing where I didn't feel like I was completely empowered. I was constantly chasing my tail. It was about everyone else.
Yes.
When I felt bad for wanting to or needing to, or when I got to relax or do nothing on holidays. So I started looking at areas across my life where, if I was really honest with myself, I was compromising. And I don't want to say, because it's hard to say when you're in a relationship to say, oh, I'm compromising and I'm settling here, because what does that say about me as a wife?
100%.
But the truth is as well, is I was compromising my well-being, my joy, my happiness for everyone else, to make sure everyone else was okay first, versus understanding that I can prioritize myself as well as others. For me, it was either or. If I'm going to prioritize myself, it means I'm saying no to you and I'm not going to help you. It doesn't have to mean that.
It doesn't have to be either one. There is another option.
Yeah. So it was just me really taking time to pay attention to everywhere I feel like I'm frustrated. I've had enough. I want to snap. I feel sad. I want to burst into tears, and looking at, again, my body. Asking her, well, that was an interesting little reaction that we had there. What was that about?
Paying attention to that reaction.
Paying attention.
If someone who's listening today is thinking, that sounds like me, where do they begin? What's the very first practical step?
I think it's to have the conversation with yourself. So the internal dialogue of...
That's you say things like, it sounds just like my coach. You just need to be honest with yourself. And I'm like, ugh.
Look, and we can't always, honesty, we can't always interpret it as, because if it doesn't feel real for me at the time, it's not going to be an honest conversation. So I think for me, it's looking at, well, what is possible? What have I always said I want for my life? And what if that is possible? And then looking at, and I realize that can sound a little bit far out there. It maybe can sound a little bit privileged to say, well, Petra, not everyone's in that situation. But there is something that all of us feel like we've settled for life. Well, this is just how life is. This is just my role in life. This is just how it's going to be for the rest of my life. Maybe someone will save me. Maybe things will change. So everywhere you feel disempowered, start there. So I feel like I can't say no to my friends or my family, or I feel like I'm not showing up at work, or I'm not being seen or recognized or acknowledged at work. I haven't been promoted. I keep getting interrupted in meetings. I'm not taken seriously. Look at those areas where you feel like either you're being made less than or you're making yourself less than. So start with those areas of discomfort and just do the one. Don't
have to do it all.
Try to do it all. Please
start
don't.
with one.
Start with the one and look at it truly.
Yeah.
And saying, well, what is this here? If this could look like something else, if I could show up in a different way, what could that be?
Yeah.
And then leading from where I am to where I want to be, what is just one thing I need to start, stop, and change?
Yeah.
And maybe it is speaking to someone else, to a coach. I mean, yes, I work, part of what I do is as a coach, but I have coaches as well. You and I have spoken about this before.
Yes, every good mental health professional has a good mental health professional.
Exactly. And even if we look at, the football that's going on at the moment, and like the world's best athletes all have coaches.
100%.
Them thinking, well, I've got some skills, so I'll figure this out on my own.
Not so much.
Not so much. Either they could, but it's going to take them so many years that by the time they figure out the how, their bodies can no longer do it.
Yeah.
So it's just normalizing that. Just someone that's got the tools, let them help you with perspective.
100%.
And if you really can't go that route right now, it's, well, do you need to listen to certain podcasts? Maybe there's certain information, because oftentimes it's not a capability problem, it's a self-worth problem.
Yes.
And we need to get to the bottom of that, because nothing changes if that doesn't change.
Yeah, agreed.
That's why we keep self-sabotaging, because we say we want to do something, we want to stop something.
That's the thing we believe that we're worth.
Yes. So I say I deserve to make $1 million every month.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Absolutely, I can think that I need that.
But what are we doing to change that?
And if our belief tells us that we'll never be able to do that, who do we think we are to think we're ever capable or deserving of that? We will never step into situations that could put us on that trajectory
100%.
Because I don't know enough, so I'm going to keep studying. I'm going to keep
manifesting
learning.
is not enough.
Yes.
It's not. You've spent the last few weeks organizing some anonymous blanket drive, charity work, and Mandela Day initiatives, and yet you still felt like you weren't doing enough. I think a lot of people, especially women, can relate to that. And I'm not in a position to be saying this is what I think women think, because I am very far from that. But why do we struggle to believe that we're enough, even when we're trying to make a real difference?
So it could be part upbringing again. I know we speak about this often.
But that's where it starts.
It's where our beliefs are shaped. By the age of 7, our self-worth is shaped already. I was really grateful and fortunate that I had very supportive parents that believed in me. And the flip side of that is that they believed I was destined for so much that they were pushing me to do better all the time. But my interpretation, which I only realized a few years ago, was if I would get a B plus and not the A, it's, well, what do you need? Why didn't you get the A? Or if I got the A and not the A plus, well, what happened? Why didn't you get that? So what my little mind interpreted it as and made true and real for me is I'm actually never enough unless I'm getting the A plus.
Always pushing for the next thing.
Exactly. So even now when I'm making a difference in my mind, because I haven't been able to, through just one thing and our beneficiaries and our donors and all these wonderful people that are donating, because we haven't handed over 919 blankets yet. P, you need to do better. So
I get that.
That's the thing. And of course, for me, because part of my value system is to make a difference in the world, our values drive us. They drive our thoughts, our actions, our beliefs, how we show up in the world. And that's where our values can hinder us if they're part of our shadow work that we haven't looked at.
So before we get to our just one thing, let's talk a little bit about just one thing 365.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well,
I've been following, and I've seen blankets and cutting of blankets and people donating. It looks like something positive is happening.
It is. It really, really is. So we got quite a lot of financial donations. So people that either weren't in Joburg or don't have the time or from, overseas. And those have been coming through. And I started looking at the prices of blankets, and the cheaper ones, those fleece blankets, are about 70 Rand that I could find. And then I kept seeing posts, well, what if we just buy a fleece at, fabric places? So I went there, priced it, and it was actually like about 35 rand, so half the price of a blanket. So I was like, okay, well, this is what we're doing.
Okay.
So I
You and a
bought.
pair of scissors.
Well, I hadn't quite thought it through. So I bought, what was the first thing? It was about 80. No, yeah, it was 90 meters. Sorry. The first was 2 rolls, which were like 40 and 42, and then a balance. And I started cutting. Paul, it was about 4 hours. The one evening, my back, I mean, I had to go for a massage. So I'm like, okay, I need to sponsor myself a massage here because my back was so sore because it was on the floor with scissors. My hands were cramping, but at least I got through a whole lot of blankets, which was so much fun. And then I got more donations. Like, okay, let's go buy some more fleece. And then I looked at this. I'm like, oh, good God, another 110 meters. I went into a bit of a panic. And also knowing that these blankets need to get out to the beneficiaries.
Yes.
So I'd be cutting for the next like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which also for me is not good enough. So thank God for community service hours through schools.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's sister was looking for something for her son to do. And we were chatting. I was like, absolutely come. Does he want to cut fabric over the weekend? And she's like, oh my God, he'd love to do that. So I've actually got a photo, I'll share it, of him happily cutting fleece.
Amazing.
So it was like a little family gathering that they did over the weekend, which was amazing. So my lounge right now, I'll share the photo as well, has got, what was it again? I think it's 213 blankets because I dropped the balance off, the first batch off at the SPCA last week. Some of the SPCA got some, so they've gotten about 50 blankets together. And then I've got the balance in my lounge, plus all of these that were just dropped off yesterday.
Amazing.
So it's great. I mean, we've still got a way to go. I mean, they'll never be enough.
Yeah.
But to anyone that's listening, if you want to just drop off a blanket or buy fleece and cut up fleece, if you have the time, get your family, get your colleagues, just get everyone to
just
cut.
Jump in, man.
Because that does work out cheaper, so we can obviously help more doggos in that way.
Mm.
Or if they want to donate to just one thing, then I'll go buy some more, because now we've got more volunteers that have offered to cut.
Okay, lovely. So
cool.
If they want to donate and they want to find out more about what's going on, where do they go?
Just one thing. So the word, just one thing, and then 365.com or on social media. And the links are also on my own social, so you can always find it through there. So just one thing, 365.com.
My last question, my just one thing for this week. And I thought about this question, and I don't just want to aim it at just women. It's for both. And my question is, what do you want every woman and man listening this afternoon to walk away with?
To not let your past dictate your future. Almost as simple as that. So everywhere you've given up on your dreams, on the possibilities of doing something else, of maybe saying I'll do it in 20 years' time, it's what is just one thing that you can do today that can take you one step closer to that.
Yeah.
Not, stop telling yourself, and I'm speaking to myself, stop telling yourself you need to learn more, you need to study more, you need more certificates on the wall. Just stop that. Again, it's not a capability issue, it's a self-worth issue. So if you could stop listening to that inner voice that is criticizing you and telling you that you're not enough, you're not capable enough, you're not deserving enough.
Yeah.
What if we can gently and with so much love tell that little voice to shut up?
Yes.
And then say to it, look, thank you for the data, thank you for the warning, because those little voices are just trying to protect us. They're just trying to keep us safe. So it's acknowledging and saying, thank you for the warning, thank you for the nerves, thank you for the fear that is there. I see you, I acknowledge you, I recognize that you're trying to keep me safe and that this is risky, what I'm going to do. But using all the data that we've had in our past, what is just one thing I can do differently today?
Got you. And the thing I love the most that I have loved about today's conversation is that the board wasn't the point. It was what happened before it and afterwards. And sometimes in my opinion, my biggest breakthroughs weren't while I wasn't discovering that I'm stronger than I thought. It's simply remembering who I was. So I do love chatting to you so very much.
Same.
If we want to get hold of you, talk to you, book you, do anything that is Petra orientated, where do we find you?
Thank you, Paulie. So petralaranjo.com. or on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook is Petra Lorenzo. And we're doing something really exciting, Paul and myself, we're calling it I Am. So there's the internal part that I'm going to be doing, and then the external manifestation where every woman in the room is going to put her fist through a wooden board.
Amazing.
And we're going to break through every limitation we've ever held ourselves back through.
Amazing. Doll, so nice to see you.
Paulie,
so nice to judge you.
Thank you to everyone listening.
Yes, and we'll do the same thing next week. I'm excited for next week's. You briefly gave me an idea, but I don't want to share too much. Thank you, and we'll chat you next week.
Thank you. Have a good day.